Hello. Welcome to eCommerce Expert, and please subscribe to our channel. It really motivates us on what we are doing to help others. You know how you are always saying that your business isn't a real business until it makes you money? There's no faster way to make money with your e-commerce store than to save on taxes. You can do it without hurting your bottom line, too. There's a lot of tax involved in operating an e-commerce site, and tax season is coming up fast, and you know what that means: lines of paperwork, forms to fill out, and a lot of things to keep track of. Do you ever think about how much easier your life would be if you didn't have to deal with taxes? What? You haven't considered it? Well, now's the time. We're going to walk you through some of the most common tax-related issues in e-commerce and how to avoid them. The two most common types of e-commerce taxes are self-employment tax and sales tax. Sales tax. This is a tax that is often levied on non-residents who purchase goods or services within the boundaries of a state or other jurisdiction. The sales tax rate varies by location, so make sure you check your local sales tax laws before setting up shop. If you're an out-of-state business owner and ship goods into another state with a high sales tax rate, like California, you may need to collect sales tax from your customers. This can be difficult because customers might not report their purchase on their income taxes, especially if the purchase isn't related to their work. So be prepared for this when someone orders something that they could feasibly claim as an expense on their income taxes. Sales tax is one of the most common taxes that people have to pay for, especially for those who live in states where there's a lot of e-commerce business. It applies to all sorts of goods and services: toothpaste, computers, cell phones, furniture, etc. Taxes vary by state and locality. In some places, it's 4%, while in others it's 8%. If you're running a business that mainly deals with e-commerce sales, then chances are you'll be paying sales tax on all orders made. Sales tax is paid on the customer's side and not the seller's side. Taxes are supposed to be collected by the company and sent to the government later, but many companies do not follow through with this due to lack of time, resources, or simply because they don't want to pay. You can avoid paying sales tax by following 2 steps. 1. Ship your products from a warehouse in a different state where there isn't any sales tax or only has very little sales tax, X, Wyoming, or charge shipping separately so the customer will think that the item. If you're a business owner, consider making your purchase online. When you do, many online retailers offer free shipping and impose no sales tax. That way, instead of paying 6% of the cost of your plane in taxes when it arrives at your doorstep, you'll only have to pay 6% of the cost of shipping. See? You've already saved yourself almost 3%. 2. Another way to save on sales tax is to buy from a local business. Your local hardware store might charge more for that new drill than Amazon does, but if there's no sales tax on those tools, or if it's not as high, then buying local might end up saving you money in the long run. Don't forget to ask about possible discounts for cash payments, too. Self-employment tax. Self-employment taxes are a pretty big expense. If you don't know what you're doing, it can take an extra 10% out of your profits. Or worse, you could end up owing more than you should, which means time spent trying to figure out what went wrong and how to fix it. Self-employment tax is owed by all sellers who run their businesses on eBay from home. The self-employment tax amount varies depending on your income, but it is generally 7.65% of your net income from eBay sales. Small businesses often start out as sole proprietorships or partnerships, but many businesses end up becoming corporations or S-corporations. Regardless, if you're self-employed and run your own business, you need to pay self-employment tax. This is a type of income tax for individuals who are self-employed. It's similar to the FICA tax that employers pay on behalf of their employees, but it's only paid by the self-employed individual. Like most taxes, self-employment tax is determined by what your income is and how much money you make in a given year. The amount ranges from 0.9% up to 13.3%, with the average being 7.65% in 2018. The level depends on your total income and the annual wage base limit that was set by Congress when they passed the law in 2013. Self-employment tax is the same as the Social Security and Medicare tax that the U.S. government requires all employees to pay. If you're self-employed, though, you'll be responsible for both halves of the self-employment tax. Import duty. A tariff on products you purchase outside of your country that are then brought into your country for selling purposes. These are sometimes unavoidable and vary by country, so be sure to check your country's import duty rates before importing products. If you're selling across state lines and importing goods, you'll have to pay import duty taxes, which could total up to 15% on top of your other costs. If your business sells products from out of the country, it is likely that duties will apply for each item sold to customers in other countries. Sales of books, music, and some clothing items are exempt from import duty. In addition, there may be other fees that apply to your business depending on things like where your inventory is coming from, what it's made out of, and how much it weighs. Your tax professional can help you determine if these fees apply to your business and how they will affect your bottom line. If you're planning on buying a good from outside your country, check its customs code. Local income tax. Local income tax, which you owe if your business is located in a state that has a state income tax. This will vary depending on the amount of money you earn and where you live. The government isn't very creative with their tax code. You'll generally need to pay this tax if you're selling from a storefront, or from a home-based business that exceeds a certain amount of sales annually. This applies even if your business is online and doesn't have an actual store location. I recommend keeping tabs on your location's legal requirements for filing local income taxes, and paying them as required. You can also avoid this tax by buying your items through a third party, such as a wholesaler or online retailer. If you live in a state that levies an income tax, it's important to know if you're going to have to pay it every year. Many states only impose it on high earners or certain types of income. Check your yearly W-2 statements for details on how much money was withheld for state income tax. You might not have paid anything at all. In that case, check with the state's revenue department to see if there's a way for them to waive your liability as a thank you for living in their state. Whether you're an e-commerce business owner or an employee working with an e-commerce business, you need to be aware of these three different types of taxes. And you can reduce them, or eliminate them altogether. You may not know that the government allows you to classify yourself as a reseller if your company is a small business and you don't hire anyone to work for your business outside of yourself. If you choose to classify yourself as a reseller, you can avoid paying sales tax on any products you purchase for resale. You can also decrease the amount of self-employment tax that you pay by paying yourself a reasonable salary and then subtracting any additional income as a business expense. Or, if you have employees, local income tax may apply. The government wants to encourage small businesses like yours. Call up your local government and ask what exemptions are available in your area. It's easy to overlook these aspects of running an e-commerce business, but they're very important. To keep your company on the right side of the law and be prepared for tax season at the end of the year, it's a good idea to consult an accountant and keep yourself informed about the different types of taxes that can apply and how you can avoid them. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share our video. Leave a comment too on what you would like us to cover next or any idea.